Hell yeah! And welcome to episode 66 of the Temple Bard podcast with me, Jim Wynn, and Philip Noone. Philip, less pints, more presents.
Less pints, more presents. So, Jim, you had a bit of a head start on me on this, but I finally gave up the pints for Lent.
What a man. What a man.
But you're how long? You've been off it a bit longer now.
I've probably been off the drink a month, I'd say, so far. But I didn't even know it was Lent at all, until you said it to me. I just thought I'd take a little bit of, like we said in the podcast, it's good to fast from things that you're, habits that you have, that you find, some things that you can give up for a while that you find difficult. Having that challenge is something good for us all, I think. But then you decided to give up the old drink for Lent.
Yeah, but it's only, I don't know if I should say this. I didn't realise how much I was actually drinking till I gave it up.
Yeah.
Fucking hell. Because you just don't realise when you're singing, and I sing a lot, I sing nearly every night, and you're just getting pints and pints and pints, and you just don't realise it. Fuck, I'll tell you, when I cut that...
Do you get some thirst?
It's not even about the thirst. That first night, when I actually stopped drinking, was heavy. Like it was...
Yeah.
It was Christy Moore. It was the delirium treadmill. Goodbye to the port and brandy. Seeing the Child of Prague and the Mantelpiece and all.
Yeah.
No, just fucking madness.
It's kind of like that with any pattern or habit, you know. When you first stop, there's like a period of... We were talking to my brother who does keto. He's been on keto for a few months. And you talked about how when you got... A lot of people get the keto flu at the start. Or if you give up drinking.
Tried it once. Tried it when I first came out of keto. And as soon as I got that bit of that keto, I was like, nah, fuck this.
Yeah, get me that
bread.
Get
me a chick. Get me a hamburger.
But I think that's like a bit of a step to get over. It's like when you're running and you hit the wall and you realise if you just keep going, you'll get the second wind. And it's the same with giving up anything. It's like if you give up sweets for Lent or drink or riding or wanking or whatever you want to give up at a time, there's going to be a period in the first few days where it's like it feels like you have to do it. Or you'll get some sort of, you feel sick, or you'll get some sort of symptoms, but that's just your body getting ready to jump to the next pattern, I would say.
I suppose what I noticed more than anything as well was when you stop drinking, and this is, most people listening to this won't be drinking every day. Yeah. So they're just like this.
Unless we say dualities.
Well, the dualities are collapsing.
In which fact they have to
drink.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, so most people won't be drinking every day. So, it's not part of their job and they're very lucky.
Yeah.
I suppose you're also, I know you have a choice whether you want to drink or not. Mm. So I suppose it is, you're pushing emotions down. You're just getting rid of things you're not dealing with. And then when you stop drinking, then they do kind of.
Yeah.
They're still there. They're not gone anywhere. You're just.
That's I've heard a lot of talk in kind of spiritual teachings how drinking drugs takes you below the ego. So it gives you a respite from the thoughts that you don't want to attach to or you're pushing away or whatever. Whereas like meditation, spiritual stuff brings you above the ego. So that's a way to get out of it. So it's a temporary thing that drinking drugs can get you away from the ego. And I've used it to that same. I use it for physical means I have in the past where I felt it helped me physically to relax and let my body relax. And it's the same with mental things that you were worrying about or things that we're attaching to or pushing away or making stories around. A lot of times when we have alcohol or drugs, it takes that pressure off us for a amount of time, but then obviously the next day or whenever you sober up, there's a price to pay.
There's a price to pay.
Yeah.
But so that's the thing on the alcohol. But you were saying there was something about the 280 years.
Yeah, so we discussed on the podcast how like the world is a mirror of itself and everyone's the same thing and different, it's all connected. And I think we asked, was Ramadan and Lent on at the same time?
So Ramadan it's always around the moon.
Ramadan is around the first sliver of the moon. It's like the new moon or whatever.
The lunar cycle.
The lunar cycle at a certain time of year. And Lent is always around I think it's the last Sunday. So we talked about on a podcast, an earlier podcast, I can't remember which one it was. We talked about how this is two different ways of the world fasting or taking a break from things that they're used to doing. And what does that mean from a world or spiritual sense? But this year, it turns out for the first time in, I think, since 1820 or something like that.
280 years, I think you were saying.
I think it might be 200 or 180, or I'm not sure the exact, doesn't matter. Time doesn't exist.
Sorry.
But this is the first time that the lunar New Year Ramadan and Lent.
Time exists, by the way.
No, it doesn't.
It does.
If we were not here to see time, it wouldn't exist. But anyway, the Lunar New Year, the Ramadan and Lent all fall at the exact same time for the first time ever. So I think of that as like some sort of synchronicity. And as you know, I believe that the world's entering a new phase of consciousness as it is, and this is
and the dualities are collapsing.
The dualities collapsing, yeah. So things that like you might think of, I do Lent or I do Ramadan, and that's like separate things, but really it's just a similar intention of fasting, and it's something that we all do to certain extents. And you know, I think since the kind of reformation of the Christian church in Ireland and all the scandals and all, people don't take Lent as spiritually or you know, they just say, I'm going to give up smoking for Lent or drinking for Lent. We don't think of it as
they use it as a way to maybe get rid of a vice.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. And which is just as fine as any other way. But it's just, and maybe in the Islamic world, it's still more dogmatic or religious. But, and I don't know that. You tell me if it's true or not.
Leave in the comments.
Yeah, but it's still, it's just still something, it's just another example of how we're just the same, but slightly different reflections of each other, you know? So, an interesting thing for all these things, and the world's just happening more and more like this. I just see more connections and everything, and it's just, I suppose it's the way you look at it, but yeah. Fasting. So less pints, more presents. And
pints, more presents. And just on that, we will take a minute just to thank Kieran Halton, who was on last week, because he's off the pints altogether as well.
He's off the pints, yeah. And it's funny because even like there's another synchronicity for you. We didn't know anything about that. I didn't even know it was Lent or Ramadan, and I'd given up the drink. I just decided I'd give it up for a while. You gave it up the same time. Kieran's been giving it up the same time. Even the song that Kieran did last week, where he talks about himself being lost and found. I wrote a song called Found like 2 weeks before that. It's a different song, but it's the same kind of message. So it's just all these things that are just, you know,
they're all happening.
It's all happening. It's beautiful.
It's all happening.
It's beautiful.
Have you seen Almost Famous?
Yeah, I have.
It's a great
film.
It's all happening.
Yeah, it's all happening. So just if you're open to it, you'll see these connections everywhere, and there's always the opportunity to choose love and fear. And God bless us, we're going to choose love on this podcast.
There you go. But yeah, no, so we're going to thank Kieran Halton. It's great. His episode's flying, actually.
Yeah, it was one of our, I think it was our biggest episode in terms of the first week.
In terms of, no.
Well, not the porn stars.
The porn stars one, yeah. Andy Lee and the Irish Bull
yeah.
Nothing even comes close to that in the first week. Like that was
a big one.
That was huge.
But this one, in terms of like downloads on Spotify, it's the one for a long time. It's the one that I've seen the most. So it's great. So if you're new to the podcast, you're very welcome.
Or if you found us in the podcast charts because of that, that's big. Yeah, that was.
Yeah. So you're very welcome, and we've got 64 other podcasts. You don't have to 65 other podcasts. Yeah, they're not all done in linear time. They're all talking about topics that kind of they mean the same. They mean something outside of time, which Philip says exists, and I disagree.
So wait till I tell you this. So it's your time for me to give up drinking, right? So I decided the other night to go to the cinema.
Yeah.
All right. So I was in the cinema the other night. Went to see Wuthering Heights.
Right.
All right. The remake. I wasn't expecting Wuthering Heights to be as sad as it was.
Oh, yeah? Got you in the feels?
Oh, it was... I actually cried.
Good.
It was very, very... I'm going to be honest. A lot of people are giving out about it and everything, and they're saying, you know, that it hasn't stuck to the original, it hasn't stuck to the book, all this kind of crack. For what it was, I thought it was fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I thought the cinematography was brilliant. I loved the characters. I thought the whole thing was just very good.
Yeah. I love nothing more than crying in films. It's a release, and
no, but I didn't go in there thinking I was going to cry at all. I was like, fuck that. No, I just thought this was somehow
chick flick,
somehow shite. I was like, I just wanted a bit of popcorn and I'll drink.
That's good though. And what is it? It's a love story, is it, or something?
Yeah,
yeah. So it's, if you think of what you talk about,
it's a love triangle in a way, but. It's not really. It's really it's a very toxic love story, but there's some other poor cunt in the triangle with them that she happens to be married to.
Right. Okay. Well, that's what I mean. And you say some people are critical of it, saying it didn't stick to the original. But even that, like I look at it, that story will have its origins in something probably like Hamlet or or Romeo and Juliet or something, like it'll have some archetype. There's always a similar, like if you look at rom-coms, they always have a similar thing. And dramas, or tragedies, there's this, it always comes, and it's just a reimagining of the same pattern.
What's the saddest film you've ever seen?
Green Mile is up there.
Even the way you said that, you were like, you were reliving it.
Green Mile. Because what I was thinking was Bigfoot and the Hendersons, because we talked about it in the podcast when Bigfoot gets slapped, me and my brother. That was the first time I ever remember being affected emotionally by a film, in a sad way.
Bigfoot and the Hendersons.
But there's lots of, I cry at lots of films now. But yeah, Green Mile probably up there. Shawshank Redemption.
I've cried at happy things as well. I cry when the wee fella hits. Yeah. I cry when the wee fella hits the note in Sister Act 2 when he like when he does the little "Oh Happy Days." I remember the first time seeing that. I was like, "Ah, Jesus!"
Yeah.
Let me see. Have you ever seen Beaches? Bette Midler. Oh, it's very sad.
Yeah.
Beaches.
Is it an old one?
Ghost.
Ghost is a good one. Yeah.
Ghost. Now that's a. I watched that a few weeks ago. And
I haven't seen Ghost in a long time.
Great film.
I'd love to watch that
Great
again.
film.
Up to Swayze.
He was brilliant.
He was very good.
He was very good in Donnie Darko as well. A lot of people don't realise.
Donnie Darko is a very abstract kind of film. It's like I remember watching it when I was younger, and I was like, what is this? And then I watched it when I was a bit older. I was like, oh, now I'm starting to get it. If I watched it now again, I'd probably get more of it. It's one of those kind of
fair.
What are they trying to say? But it's one of those kind of films. But it's what you're into. I watched. Do you know what I watched? A series called How to Get to Heaven from Belfast.
So, I started watching it last night, really late, and I was really tired. And there was it was a wee bit funny at the beginning, and I was like, I must watch that, but I just went to bed. I was too tired.
Yeah,
was it good?
It was very funny. It reminded me of because my mom's from the north, like, and
it's supposed to be very Derry Girls.
It is. Well, I didn't see Derry Girls, but it's very that part of the world's humour. It reminds me of my cousins from up north and stuff, and so it's brilliant. And it's the plot is a bit weird, but the story is good and the acting's good. I think the characters are very good, and I really enjoyed it. So I have a tendency when there's something like English or Irish, I tend to, for some reason, have an aversion. I won't start watching it. I don't know what it is. There's something in me that doesn't generally like to watch these things.
Right.
Like if I have a choice between that and something else, I usually pick the American thing or something.
Something with a bigger budget, or just
not a budget. It's just I don't know what it is. I don't really have a conscious reason why. It's just something I feel it'll be a better production, or I'll be more able to suspend disbelief if it's American.
Braveheart,
yeah. Braveheart.
If you didn't cry at Braveheart,
I did cry at Braveheart, of course. Yeah.
I think that Braveheart was probably the first film I ever cried at. Because I would have been young, and just freedom.
It's similarly enough. That's what Bigfoot was getting from the Hendersons, but he didn't know. He was getting freedom. You see, because but he didn't know he was attached to them.
You love the character of Mel Gibson in the film, and then he does the freedom bit, and you know that's his last bit of rebellion. And then he turns and he looks, and then he sees his dead wife coming walking towards him, and then they chop his head off, and then he drops it, and it's just, and then Robert the Bruce goes out, and he does the big speech. You have bled with Wallace, now bleed with me, and no, it's class.
Yeah, no, it's one of the great films, I have to say. But it's in a way it's that lessons where he's had this fight, he's done this revolution, he's done this, he's started this revolution and this thing, and then when it comes back down to it, at the very end, he's free. So it seems like we didn't want him to get caught, we didn't want him to be beheaded, but in reality, he's free now.
Oh no, definitely.
And it's that similar.
Have you seen some of the mistakes in that film?
No,
loads of watches. Yeah, loads of watches. Yeah. And there's
Starbucks coffee cups. And
you see, it was filmed in the Curragh.
Yeah,
and in one of the like long scenes of the big army coming running, there's a bread van.
Yeah,
in somewhere in the back, there's like,
I missed that. I missed that one. They may take our wraps, but they'll never take our focaccia.
There's some films like that are just even. There's today.
One in Ben-Hur that's famous. There's a fellow with a watch in Ben-Hur. That was like an Oscar-winning movie, but there's a part where he has a watch. I don't really usually notice those things. That's not something I never noticed, the minute details.
The only one I noticed was in Spider-Man he runs and jumps onto a trampoline and bounces and then
Right,
jumps. And I was like, that's ridiculous. But I didn't. I'm sure like all the older ones, like I'm sure RoboCop has a few, but I'm not going looking for them.
Yeah. Yeah, true. But now on more point or less points, more presence. How do you find you're in the early days of not drinking for how long have you been?
So it's only been a week.
Only been a week. And what have you found from a mind or body perspective that has changed in that time?
Me gaff is spotless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And do you find that your thoughts are clearer, or do you find that you're more?
My gaff was it was a mess. It was just messy because I wasn't doing anything. I wasn't getting on top of it, and I was literally coming and going.
Yeah.
And I just wasn't paying attention to it.
Yeah.
And then after a couple of days, I was like, "What is this?" I was like, "What?" I was like, "Clean this place now."
Well, it's a meditative thing. I know you say you don't have the head to meditate or anything, but when you're cleaning, you're not thinking about what he said, she said, that, this, that, and the other. You're kind of just in it, and you have a goal, a short-term goal to accomplish. So it's cleaning is a meditative thing. Like once you get into it, I find, and that's probably a way of your mind and body to adapting to being sober for a few days. And as you go on, there's more things. Like as you said, you might find yourself back with thoughts that you don't want to have, but that again, that's attaching or pushing away. You know, it's just when you can just see the thoughts and let them come and go. That's how you know that you're not.
It's easier said than done.
It's easier said than done, and it doesn't have to be. Oh no, I had a thought. Scrap the whole thing. Like it's just every time you notice, every time you have a conscious moment, where you go, I'm spiraling on a thought here. Just bring it back, let it go, and then you'll do it again within probably 3 seconds, and then just bring it back and let it go, and just do that whenever you have the conscious ability to do it.
I suppose what I've been trying to do, and I'm more like I'm very unconscious sometimes, so I'm probably more guilty of this than anybody else, but just trying to meet people where they are.
Yeah.
You know, like sometimes I'll look at a situation and I'll fucking flip in my head, and then I'm like, Philip, that's you flipping.
Yeah.
That's you. That's on you. You know, like whatever this situation is, whatever's happened there, that's the situation. But it's up to you how you react to it. You can only meet someone where they are. And if the situation is wherever it is or whatever way it is, you just have to let that happen. And I'm only seeing that now, whereas especially when I was like, if I was drinking, I would fucking go mental. Like, whatever it was, no matter, you know, something to do with a gig, something, it doesn't matter. Whatever the situation was, I'd be like, no, that's someone's out to do that on purpose. I'd be like, just ever. And
they're doing that to get to my piece, or
and even in situations where they were, I just had to kind of learn. That's just where they are.
Yeah,
you just have to kind of let that flow. Listen, it was very difficult at the beginning.
Yeah,
but now it's
and it'll be difficult again. But it's beautiful that you've seen it, because that's once you've noticed it once, it doesn't matter how many times you fall back into it. You'll still. Every so often you'll have that conscious realization that you have to let people be where they are. My daughter was complaining about, you know, things and people and stuff to me yesterday, and we had a great conversation, and we ended up having like I didn't fall into the we often start giving out to each other over things and all, but we just had this conversation, and I was telling her that she worries about what people are doing, the choices they make and stuff like that, and the fact that she doesn't have any control over it, and just I think slowly she is listening and taking some of the advice I gave on board. I'm learning things from her, and we're both kind of growing in a relationship between us and spiritually. And of course, I'm going to be a granddad now. That's the news for the podcast.
Tim Wynn is going to be a granddad, ladies and gentlemen.
New role unlocked.
Congratulations!
I know.
Obviously, I've known for yeah. But I didn't know you were doing the reveal like that.
No, well, she told everyone now, so I think
congratulations.
I can tell everyone, So I'm going to be a granddad, folks. So yeah, looking forward to it. Another role. It's a role I haven't played yet, and I'm looking forward to
good stuff.
Looking forward to the action. So now I get the chance to pass on, hopefully, some of the things I've learned positively, and hopefully help against some of the things I've learned negatively when it comes to parenting. But again, it's going to be her child, her decisions, and
the poor child's head's going to be melted with dualities.
No, the new generations are are more suited for the collapsing dualities, I think.
Do you think so?
I think so. You know what they talk about in the Law 1? They talk about as we enter the fourth density or the next level of consciousness, there's going to be a lot of people born who are straddling both. They're kind of in this world but not of this world. And I see like things like the giant growth of autism and stuff like that. And people who are technically physically here but not always mentally or spiritually here. And I think about that in terms of like, because we have autism now and people say it's vaccines or whatever way you want to say it, but it's whatever vehicle things come through, they're perfect the way they are. So I think that people who are on the spectrum or autistic or, you know, trans issues or whatever, these are people who are slowly the manifestations of the collapsing dualities. And I think about my own cousin Laura, who I was telling you in the car. She was born, she's blind, deaf, she's in a wheelchair, never walked, never talked. She's fed through a tube. And when I was young, I used to feel sorry for her, thinking like she's suffering. But now I realise she's probably in absolute bliss. She's just being all the time. Now her family that have sacrificed and to be of service to her, she was supposed to live 5-6 years. She's now 42 because she's surrounded by the most loving family that you could possibly have. And she is an opportunity for them to be of service. And they don't get anything from her in terms of physical or emotional input, but they just get love. They just live in the love of her, and it's like that with a lot of autistic people now as well. They're giving people they need for you to be of service to them in terms of keeping them alive, keeping them physically well in this life, but also they are building the bridge to the next level of consciousness. That's my view of it. Like,
Okay.
yeah. So that's just my view of it, and of course you're free to have your view of it, and whether you're autistic or not, or whether you know someone who is or not, just choose love, and it's to be of service to someone. I was watching a podcast the other day about people in AA recovery, and they talked about that there's a game they play in AA where you try and do something nice for someone, but
Spin the bottle.
I think that game's gone out they're giving that up for Lent.
I'm allowed to make that joke. I'm an alcoholic.
But so they play this game where you have to do something nice for someone, and if they find out you do it, you lose the point. Basically it is to be kind, to do an act of kindness without ever anyone knowing. And I take that into my life all the time. Whenever I see something, I do things for people. You know, instead of complaining or needing validation or something, I'll do it like as a secret agent of love. That's the way I look at a lot of the things. And it doesn't have to be some big huge gesture. It's like if my daughter leaves her plate there, I won't tell her she left it there. I'll just clean it and put it away.
I'd be the same, but I'd share it with my Instagram followers. I'm only messing.
There's nothing wrong with that either. I mean, everyone is where they are, but it's...
No, I'm joking.
We're all kind of...
I wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. We're all just kind of... we can be secret agents of love, you know? That's what... It's not about like having grand gestures or changing the world. We're not here to change the world. We're here to love the world regardless, and that's how it will change. That's my view of it.
Good stuff.
Yeah.
So no pints, more presents.
No pints,
so
more
what have you
presents.
given up for Lent? Have you given up sweets? Have you given up chocolate? Have you given up crisps? Have you given
Or
up...
Ramadan.
Or Ramadan.
Yeah.
Well, if you're...
Or a lot of people are into the...
Ramadan, you have to give up food, though.
Yeah.
During daytime hours.
Oh, that's true, yeah, obviously. And a lot of people follow the lunar cycle and follow the astrology and all that as well. So what have you changed, or what do you think will happen in this time? Given up.
Well, speaking of the lunar cycle, if you go back or you look at any of our clips, you'll see that at middle of last year, we came across the Ehwaz rune, which is representative of horses. It's a stone. And the year of the Chinese fire horse started this week.
Yeah.
The snake is gone. The shedding is gone. All the things you don't need anymore, put them away. Anything that wasn't serving you. And the horse is coming in now.
Yeah.
So let's see what happens.
It's time to ride free, baby. Yeah, you send that to me, and of course that's a synchronicity for you in your own life, you know.
But I think it's for everybody. I think this year of the horses, like, I think it's supposed to be a prosperous.
But again, it can be if that's the intention you bring into it. But a lot of people won't know anything about that, and will continue to be unconscious living in it. But you just take it and don't look for an outcome of it, but just take it as an inspiration on your journey. And how's the Ehwaz rune doing now anyway? Where is it?
Oh no, I have it. Yeah. I was going to say, and right before Cheltenham. No, anyways. Yeah,
Cheltenham's coming.
It's a sign.
Yeah.
It's a sign.
Is Lent over? Paddy's Day is before the end of Lent, is it?
Paddy's Day this year will be in the middle of Lent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, well, I'm not going to drink Paddy's Day then.
No, I'm not going to drink Paddy's Day. And I have 2 gigs. Like, they couldn't have felt worse. Like, 3 days before the end of Lent, I have 2 gigs in Holland, one after another.
That's your crescendo moment, you know. That's to bring it to over the final hump. And I think you'll do it.
At the moment, I think I'll do it, but you know, when you're in the situation, well, do you know something? By then, hopefully, I'll have built up enough resistance, because those gigs, the gigs I do abroad, are all based around alcohol. Like, they're all based around, like, even now, like when they first started so many years ago, I was the fella that'd get up and like down like jugs against like 3-4 like 3 liters or no, like
liter. They have liter cups, don't they?
No, like a pitcher. What's in a pitcher? Like three pints.
Yeah,
3 pints. So like I'd just be like down and down with one and all that kind of crack, and the whole party was about that. And now, Jim, I'm just in a different place in my life. You know, you just. But it's funny because like a lot of them still expect that.
Yeah. Well.
And I still expect it of myself sometimes.
You maybe more than they expected. You expect them to expect it from you.
Maybe so.
And that's I don't think anyone's going to like say, "Oh no, he was great, but he didn't drink, so fuck him." Fuck yeah. Like
he didn't even down 3 pints of Guinness.
Yeah, people aren't noticing it at that level.
Hopefully, well, you see, they're all getting older too, so hopefully we're all like at an age where they're like.
Well, that's it. Like, and the world in general is drinking less. I saw something recently where Diageo have something like 2 billion in overstock now because people are drinking so much less, and we can talk about how that affects industries and stuff like that. But from a general point of view, that's probably better for people's health, or at least it's going to bring people to not push away their problems or their attachments and stuff. It's going to give people the opportunity to work on them. Now, they don't have to take the opportunity, but the opportunity will arise. And the lessons come back around again and again.
They always keep coming.
Yeah. So it's just it's that time of year now, it seems, where, and like, as I said, I gave up the drink. I just decided to do it. My missus and baby were away for 2 weeks. And even this weekend, they're gone to Cork. And usually I'd have at least a couple of nights where I'd have a couple of bottles of red wine. And I was tempted like a couple of nights, and I just said, I just won't. I said, you hear alcoholics talk about one day at a time. You can't say, I'm not going to drink for this 2 weeks. I just, when I get to that moment where I'm saying, well, I have a whiskey now, I just says, no, I just won't. I just won't right now. I don't tell myself I won't later or I won't tomorrow. I just said I won't right now. And that's the presence. When you're in that presence, you can only make the decision in the present moment. You can plan, but plans change. I also tell myself, I'm not going to eat that bag of jellies in there, and then 5 minutes later, there's not a jelly left in the fucking thing. So, you know, it's ups and downs. There's no universal way to
Jim, we have a big guest next week.
We do have a big guest.
We have a great guest next week. We have a very old friend of mine. Myself and him were in Eurostar together in 2004. George Murphy, and George is a household name. He is the second coming of Luke Kelly. Yeah. He is just class. Himself and the Rising Suns. George was in the High Kings. He's had an amazing solo career. He has the Rising Suns now. They tour all over Ireland, but he's just brilliant.
Yeah,
and he's hilarious.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to meeting him.
So George will be good. George is on next week.
Yeah, so stay tuned for that. And any more guests that you recommend who we'd have the crack with? We have the crack with everybody, really, don't we?
Yeah.
So I think anyone else you'd fancy getting on the podcast, let them know. Tag them, tag us. And because we're trying to get more guests on because we love talking to people, and it's always great to see other points of view because that helps us realise that we're not.
Yeah, 100%.
You know? So we're looking forward to getting George on. So less pints, more presence, and we thank you very much for being present with us here today. We wish you very well in your fasting if you're giving up for Ramadan. We wish you well for Lent if you've given up anything there, and we are grateful to have you listening to the Temple Bard podcast. That's it for episode 65. Less pints, more presence. Stay bold. Sláinte.